first one is a request for designation of Muskogee County as a single county judicial circuit. And this is brought forward by Councilors Toya Tucker and Councilor Mimi Woodson. And I will tell you what the request is a request that to create a Muskogee judicial circuit comprised of judges from Muskogee County, and I will tell you that, just as information, there are 16 counties in Georgia with single circuits, judicial circuits. Fulton County, as you can see on the screen, has a single circuit. Gwinnett County, single circuit. Cobb, DeKalb, Columbia County, Clayton County, Chatham County, which is Savannah, Cherokee County, Forsyth County, Henry County, Paulding County, Houston County, Douglas County, Floyd County, Rockdale County, and of course Floyd County is Rome, Georgia, Rockdale County, and Daugherty County is Albany, Georgia. Those are counties currently with single county circuits. And these counties have a population in excess of 80,000, and you can see that there are counties obviously without single circuits. And so this comes from Councilors Toya Tucker and Mimi Woodson, and it is here for action if you so choose to take action on this today.
Council House.
Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. If we're going to allow people to speak, I know the District Attorney Stacy Jackson would like to address this if you can have that opportunity.
We don't have a motion.
Okay, we're going to wait for that then? Okay, do we wait for that?
Okay, motion to approve by Councilor Woodson, second by Councilor Tucker.
Okay, may D.A. Jackson speak now.
Yeah, Mr. D.A. Stacy Jackson, would you like to say a few words? Please share your thoughts with us.
First of all, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this very important issue that I believe that not only affects this county, but affects this metro area and circuit-wide. On first thing I want to point out is, and when I say this respectively with all due respect, I just believe that on behalf of the DA's office that we would oppose this being part of the legislative agenda, and I want to give you some reasons why. I understand that throughout the state there are some counties that are single county circuits, but we need to look a little further and do a deep dive in those particular circuits. For example, the most recent circuit that went just countywide, single county, is Columbia County. But one thing you have to look at, it has a population of 160,000, which means their caseload is a lot lower. But also, you need to look at the median income of the county. Here in Muskogee County, we have a median income of around between $20,000 and $25,000. In Columbia County, they have a median income of $35,000 to $40,000. I'm so used to being in the courtroom moving around. I'm sorry. So they have a median income of $35,000 to $40,000. So what does that tell you? They have a higher tax base that they can pull from. So when they went to a single county circuit, when the state funding, because when you go from a multi-county circuit to a single county circuit, you lose state resources. But see, because they have a higher tax base than we have, they were able to supplement those resources. And you take a county like Fulton County, they have a population of well over 1 million. Now, with those, they're able to, because I have friends that I had practiced with when I was in the DA's office, now that they have attorneys, senior assistant attorneys, that they pay over $200,000 to prosecute cases. That's more than the state pays me as the district attorney, because they have that tax base to pull from that they can supplement those state tax dollars that Muscogee County can't do. You take a county like Gwinnett County that has a population of 964,000, and you look at their tax base and median income. Look at DeKalb County, where they have a tax base, where they have a population of 757,000 compared to our 205,000. They have a tax base to pull from that supplements those state tax dollars that they supplement from. You take a county. Let's look at a county that's a small county, Doherty County. Okay, single county circuit, Doherty County, Albany, Georgia, single county circuit. But why you have to do a deep dive into this is because Doherty County, when I talked to the clerk of Superior Court, they only have 3 Superior Court judges. Here in this county, we have 7. They have a lower caseload, a lower crime rate, because also they only have a population of 85,000. We have a population of 205,000. We have to look at that. So when we go to going back to the study that was the judicial workload study that was done in 2019, when Coweta County wanted to split their basically circuit in half and go to not a single county circuit, but just split it in half, dividing the counties. You have to look at the judicial workload, and then you have to look at what judges per population. So we would basically, if we went to a single county circuit here in Muscogee County, would potentially go from 7 judges handling, as of last night, me and my executive assistant went over the Odyssey and Tyler system, and we have pending now 7,298 felony cases here in this county, split between 7 Superior Court judges. That's over 1,000 each. So we go down to a single county circuit, we have potentially losing 3, possibly 4 judges. So you go from 7 Superior Court judges down to potentially 3 or 4. So let's take the higher number 4. So now we go from 7,298 cases between 7 judges, now split down to 4. So you have each judge handling almost 2,000 cases each. Now, these are just criminal cases. Now, we haven't gone into the divorce cases or the child cases or guardian ad litem cases or the civil suits. We're just talking about criminal cases alone. So let's just say, for example, we had a jury trial, which is totally impossible. If we had a jury trial every single week for an entire year with 4 judges, we could only try 208 felony criminal cases. 208. So what do we do with the other 7,000? So what's this going to lead to? Overpopulation in the jail. Now, we were overpopulated in the jail when I took office or was sworn in on May 20th. Now, with the help of the Chief Blackman and Sheriff Countryman and our staff, and thankfully the additional funds, discretionary funds that you all allow me to have to hire 3 additional attorneys, we're 1 ADA short of being full staff. We've been able to indict 386 cases since May. Just on yesterday, pled out a felony murder case. We had several trials in the last several weeks, and we've gotten that jail population down to less than 100%. But we're going to a 1 county circuit having 4 judges trying 7,000 cases. We're working backwards. Now we're flirting with the federal government coming back down, suing us because we have an overpopulated jail, and not even dealing with that and the financial responsibility and the burden that has on the sheriff and also the budget. But also, you have to look at this too. Even if losing those state resources, because basically what happens when the DA's office, my attorneys that I can hire are tied into the number of judges that we have. So when you lose those judges, you lose those state-funded ADA positions as well to handle those cases, not only from the DA's office, but also for the public defender's office. In talking with Pete Scandalakis, the head of the Prosecuting Attorney's Council last night, if we went to a one-county circuit, it would basically cost our taxpayers in this county over $1.5 million just in personnel expenses alone. Because when you lose those ADAs, let's say you lose, you go down from 7 Superior Court judges down to 4. Let's just use that, just the least number. Then you lose 3 ADAs. And start with there. So to keep the system going, now the county will have to replace those state-paid ADAs with county funds. So even attracting an ADA to come down and work, you're talking about a compensation package around or more with their salary plus insurance, benefits, or whatever, over $100,000. So that's 3 you have to replace. Then also, you've got to replace that on the public defender side, which the state pays for, but now the county is going to have to put that money in. Not only that, paralegals, investigators. You lose those other resources that you have. For example, right now, being a 6-county circuit, when we look at asset forfeiture funds, I'm able to use that throughout those forfeiture funds, not only in Muskogee County, but also from the other 5 counties as well. Forfeiture funds, if we catch someone on the highway with drugs and money or what have you, coming down 185, I just bought a car for our office, didn't come out of Muskogee County funds, came out of asset forfeiture funds, that was part of the whole 6-county circuit to use for transportation for myself, for my ADAs, for victim witness, or whatever. It didn't cost the city a dime. But you go to a 1-county circuit, that expenditure may have to come out of the county budget because we have to get victims to court, we have to get witnesses to court, we need equipment. But right now, that doesn't cost the city a dime. Also, we're talking about the library funds. Those funds are pooled from all six counties. So with the library fund, yeah, we would have the library, but also we would be losing some economic benefit from there. We have it, but every penny counts. So when you talk about this issue, you think about the fact that we would lose that money. Then as council persons, you've got to go out to your constituency and say, hey, when they ask, well, why is the system backlogged? And we're just talking about the criminal. But then in the inflation we're in right now, and people are barely being able to afford groceries and get gas, you as council persons have to go out to your constituents and say, you know what, open your purses, open your wallets. We need $1.5 million to keep this criminal system going, or our jail's gonna be overrun. You gotta ask your constituents that, because that's what and then they ask, well, why? Because we gave away the funding that the state gave us. So now we're gonna transfer that funding from the state to your pockets.
So, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, may I?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So a couple of things. First of all, I think, Mr. City Attorney, that there's a judicial body or somebody who would do a study to determine single judicial circuits. I think that's the first point I want to make. But the second thing, obviously you've done a lot of research, Mr. DA.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to have my people to pull that video. And for council to be at ease, because I think you've scared the hell out of them.
We're glad you're on our side.
And
just
so,
to address that issue.
well, let me
Okay, yes.
finish. So I want to pull that. I'm going to have my team to pull that video And I want them to verify that you would lose and go down to 4 judges. I want them to verify the DAs, assistant DAs. I want them to do a fact check just to make sure council members know both sides. But it will be a fact check.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm gonna have my team do that, and then I'll be happy to, because, you know, you've devastated me with your passion and with your information.
Yes. And the only thing I
And
just
so-
wanted to mention, the office that does that research is by statute, is from the Administrative Office of Courts. And that's who does that study, according to P. Scandalax, the information that he
Okay.
gave me on yesterday.
And I believe that's the city attorney has, he advised that's how it's done. And so, but I will, they'll pull that video,
Yes.
and then I will come back to council, because I believe we need to be very factual in the information that you have, and so I'll come back to you with it.
Thank you. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And also, if I can, just take this opportunity to continually thank you. When I first came into office, like I said, for those discretionary funds and the fund that you provided me, and thanks to the mayor who's not present, but the city manager and council, because we've been able to do a heck of a lot of work with the resources that you provided to us. And I wish I had more time to give you more details, but we're moving cases, we're clearing out the jail, we're moving cases forward, and we're protecting the community. And I just can't thank you enough for everything that you provided my office and me taking over since May. I appreciate it. Thank you.
DA Stacy Jackson, let me ask, you said that since May, y'all have cleared 300 and how many?
We've been indicted, I believe, the 386 cases through the grand jury. That's just indictments.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers that we've cleared, but through the rapid resolution program that we have, there's several hundred more cases that we've actually been able to close.
Okay.
But through the resource and hiring ADAs, we've been able to indict and get those 386 cases within the last few months on the trial docket.
Okay, I was impressed with that number. I just want to make sure I wrote it down correctly. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for your work.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Okay, Counselor.
So I don't know if anyone else want to be heard on that.
Counselor
but-
Tucker has a,
I was gonna call, Wayne Hills up, but you said you had a video.
No,
You don't have
I'm gonna pull that video of
Okay.
Stacy Jackson,
okay.
and we're gonna do a fact check, and we're gonna make sure you have the right information. If you go to a single county circuit,
Well,
how will that impact the number of judges,
Right.
assistant ADAs, based on what he said? I just wanna
Right.
fact check
Because
it.
one of my questions involved, didn't the study say that our circuit was too large? Based on that actual study that was conducted in 2019. And also it had recommended that we pull both Talbot and Harris County out initially. So it was a lot of recommendations
Well-
that was made based on that study that was
Yeah.
done in 2019 that we did not actually, it didn't transpire based on that study that was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do have a lot, but I'm calling Wayne, and I know he had wanted to have a meeting, to actually address some of the concerns, and then we can have facts, exactly what you're talking about, city manager.
Yeah.
Because I think the facts and the numbers and seeing it in black and white
Yeah.
versus,
That's based on that presentation. I think I owe you.
yeah,
that.
we need all the facts.
I owe
and
it to
just the
you.
facts.
Yes, just the facts.
Mhm.
Mr. City Manager, do you think it would be in order for us to maybe delay this item?
I think so.
Yeah,
Until we
I-
get facts?
I would suggest delaying it and then let me have my team pull that video of the DA's presentation and do a fact check.
Yeah.
And provide you, the
I'ma
council,
recall.
with information that you can make an informed decision. And so
Okay.
I would
I
suggest delay.
recall my motion, I
Motion.
think, Mimi motion to, you gonna recall yours?
Motion to recall is in order. Thank you. And before Mr. Hales, just a minute, Counselor,
She's withdrawing her motion.
she has withdrawn her motion. Counselor Garrett.
The DA spoke very eloquently about the implications this could have for judicial funding, which is accurate. But have y'all ever heard the term home cooking before? It's where you're in a county and you get sued there, or you're the plaintiff there, and you get home cooked because the judge and the jury all like the same person. I can tell you that there are counties surrounding Columbus which do not have equal police. Many jurors do not. And if they have their own judge who is not based, which we have great judges in Muskogee and some come from Harris who are very fair-minded, but I've been in trials before where people should have clearly been struck for bias and prejudice against my plaintiff. And I have been home cooked before. Home cooking is real. Some of the rural counties surrounding this county are not as metropolitan as Columbus. Those juries can be dangerous for somebody if they're a minority. And I represent primarily minorities, and I have to look out for their rights. It is important to me that people get justice, that people get a just and fair jury, and if a circuit gets comprised of only a rural judge or small rural circuit, there's a very real opportunity I could get home cooked just because my person's not from that county. And I just want to warn you of that, because that's part of the beauty of having a multi-county circuit. It gives you a rotation of judges. There's less chance of prejudice, in favor of one lawyer or another, because there's several judges to choose from. And I just want to warn you about home cooking, because it is real, and it has hurt my clients who had just cases before, and I did not like it, and it wasn't fair. And if the judge had been impartial,